Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today is January 3rd, 2023, and today is Tuesday morning. So welcome back, everybody. I'm wishing everybody, before we start, a blessed, healthy, happy year. Now, looking at the highlights of the day, gold breaking out higher. And from last week to this week, we saw it just inching higher. I did mention it in the previous daily reviews. You could refer back to it. And finally, popping out at 1843 this morning. No major economic events scheduled for today. So as we look at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, the major pairs are pretty much unchanged. The indices, Dow Jones and the NASDAQ, both perk higher. Looking at commodities, gold and oil pushing higher. Stocks mostly gained, but on light volume from Friday. And lastly, cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin does trade higher. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. We're starting with the Euro USD with a new year, topping out a 107 last Friday, and we're just retracing below that, 106.37, so about 70 pips just below that. So this is an interesting start because we are making a double top here. As you can see on the top side, that's a double top. So keep that in mind as we're going into this week. Now looking at the GBP USD, not making the same highs as the euro, so that's important because it means that the euro is getting stronger. Now looking at the Australian dollar, also just toppling out here. And major pairs besides the Japanese yen, this is very interesting. The yen getting much stronger versus the dollar, a V formation, and it's happening. And you see those sell-offs are much more aggressive. We had here, okay, 1, 2, 3 major sell-offs. 1, okay, 2, and that would be the third one. Okay, so that does look like a 1, 2, 3, even a 4-point move. Okay, so there is significant support here at this 103, even though we did, perk up from 132 up to 134, but we are making a further low. So going into today, this is something important because I think everybody's going to have to keep an eye on this, that this goes into today's session and going into next week. Okay, so this is really an important thing to look at. Now looking at the Dow Jones. Dow Jones trading at 33,394, just trading sideways. Okay, we can't see that. You can see it quite clearly. We've had a decent run here on the Dow Jones as it's kind of consolidated around this top level. Now, January is a very important month because January is really setting the stage for the subsequent month of the year. So I believe we're going to have a very choppy year. So keep that in mind. Looking at the NASDAQ, also retracing here just this morning, 11,136. Yesterday was a holiday, so we did not trade yesterday, but you could see that we did retrace here this morning. Now jumping into commodities, looking at gold, this is where the play is, 1845. Now we mentioned this several times, and I kept on saying it's making this like upwards wedge formation, and it sure enough did, and finally breaking that 1827 level and just taking at 1845. Now the next real resistance level is 1880-ish level, so just keep that in mind going into today's session. Now looking at crude oil, also a nice little gain here to $80.73, not as big as the gold, but it does also look like it wants to perk up, not as aggressively. Okay, I do want to add that, but it doesn't want to look like it's going to perk up. If it does, it goes to $82. Not a massive move, but a decent move, and one that you can bank on. Okay, now looking at the stocks, mostly traded higher towards the end of the day on low volume. If we look at Google, nice little perk towards the end of the day. Intel also had a little perk into the end of the day. Cisco did not, which is kind of funny because the ones that were weak showed some strength into the end of the day, and the ones that were strong, generally speaking, did not. Okay, so it's kind of like more of a short covering than anything else. JP Morgan also moving up to 134 into the end of the day there. So this is really an important element. Just keep in mind that we are going into the first month of January. That's an important month, like I said before, and all eyes are going to look to it because that's generally the theme for the rest of the year. Now looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin had a nice little perk yesterday. After making this route at 16,500-ish level, finally breaking out to 16,700. Now, that's not a big deal, but it is a big deal, okay, because it's been trading in a very, very tight range for a long time. And it's the first time, okay, since last week. It just throughout the week, it's been trading in a very tight range. And so this may create a situation where we go back to 1690. Again, not a major deal, but something if you can bank on it, why not? Okay, and just because on one trade you can make $10,000, another trade you can make $300, doesn't mean that you're not going to take that trade, right? So that's something to look at as this still revolves. Now, again, markets are still kind of getting back into themselves, so I wouldn't expect major volume today, but as the week goes on, I do expect us to get back into the swing of things. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish everybody a great trading day. Thank you.